Hey you, how you doing? So listen, I just wanted to talk to you for a moment specifically because I know that you have in the last 30 days have felt like I don't have what it takes. You've also felt like, man, I need to learn more things, and you've also felt like I need to buy a program, and you've also felt like, oh my gosh, I need to. It's like, you get into that hole and then you start watching other people, and then other people start making you believe like, I think you should be more like me. Other people start making you believe like, hey, what you have is not enough. And then you start looking to your left and your right and you feel like, oh my gosh, I feel like everyone's bigger and better than I am. Maybe I should be doing digital marketing. Maybe I should be online. Maybe I should be selling on Facebook. Maybe I should. It's like, let me tell you, you're gonna play that game forever. And right now, in case you're watching this live, I am at an airport. It's Mother's Day, or Mother's Day tomorrow, I should say. And I was taking a moment and thinking to myself about all of my own challenges. And I can remember a time in business when I was just literally, and you're in Phoenix with me, so let's say hello to Phoenix. We're headed east, all right? So we're headed east. Here's the thing though, I'm gonna be really honest with you. So there was a time in my own life, years ago, I owned a business, and hey Marvin, how you doing, baby? How you doing? Is that Arthleen? Arthleen, what's going on? So let me tell you guys a real quick kind of story because it's so raw and so real. So years ago, I owned this business, and I shouldn't say years ago I owned this business. I owned this business, and in the industry I was in, it was predominantly a white males industry, period. There's just no way to talk about it. And it was the technology industry. And I can constantly remember I had gotten to six figures and in revenue, and I remember kind of constantly doing this because I really wasn't accepted. People didn't really want me at the table, and I was always looked down upon because I was young and I was a woman, and fast forward, I can remember sitting at the tables thinking to myself, looking at everyone else thinking, maybe I should be hiring people like that. Maybe I should be, oh my gosh, that guy looks like he has his act together. Oh my gosh, that team looks so professional. Oh my gosh, that branding looks on point. And I used to constantly look at other people to my left and my right, and I found so many ways myself. I found so many ways to put myself down because I had become convinced that they had the best business, they had everything going for them, and I didn't. And it's like, man, you do that enough, and then you say to yourself, man, what am I doing? It's like this world of self-sabotage. It's like, I spent forever saying to myself, I'm not as good as them, or maybe I need to chase this, or maybe I need to do it that way. And it's like, what I had to kind of come down to? There is no other way other than the way that feels good to me. That is the fact. It's like, I can't even begin to emphasize this enough. And listen, Onwards to Freedom community, this is a message for you. This is a message for listen. Yes, there are other methods and other ways of getting it done. Yes, there are fantastic, super ways, and especially now where we live in Facebook world where everyone seems to be building a 7-figure business running Facebook ads with like $85. And you're like, how the flip is this happening? How are they spending $85 running these ads, becoming filthy rich, and then they're living in a penthouse in New York? And you're like, what the hell is going on? And not only do you feel frustrated, but you feel like you're less than, and you're like, well, shit, I can't figure this thing out. And then you're also like, well, man, maybe they're smarter than I am. Because if they can run Facebook ads, they only spend $85 with these Facebook ads, right? They spend $85 running Facebook ads, and then they're living in a penthouse in New York, and life is like this, and then they show you jumping off the cliff, right? And then they're swimming with the dolphins, and they're drinking margaritas, and it's like, well, I have $85, why can't I do that? Let me tell you what that reality really looks like, because I'm going to tell you, for all the ads that I ran, and for all of the people who are making you feel like you're not enough, or they're making you feel like your learning is here, you have to literally do what works for you. And when I hit 6 figures, I was so caught up at first and trying to be everybody else. And when I say trying to be everyone, because the truth is that I was a woman, everybody else in my industry was older, they were more mature, they had been there in the game a lot longer, doing business a lot longer than I had, and I was black and a woman, and I was super young. And the reality is that I spent so much time kind of looking to my left and my right, and you know what happened? I got stagnant. Like, instead of growing, I just became like this. Like, my revenue never went anywhere. And and I just stayed right here. And do you know why I stayed right here? It's because I was so focused on what other people were doing, and I was so focused on what wasn't working, and I was so focused on what I thought I didn't have and who I thought I wasn't, and trying to implement the things that they were doing the way they were doing it, even though sometimes it didn't feel comfortable for me, even though sometimes I was like, this is not working. You know what I learned? I learned that, dear God, Tiffany Largie, if you could just stop, be done with everybody else's method, be done with trying to be them and her and that team and that company, and I just took a moment to focus on being myself and doing it my way, the way that felt good, the way that I understood, the way that resonated with me. Listen, let me tell you, I didn't go from 6 figures to 7 figures because I hired a coach. And I hate to say that, but it's the fact, it's the truth. And I didn't do it because I was in the right place at the right time. Lucas, what's going on? So I didn't do that because of any other reason. I did this specifically, literally specifically because of this one key fact. I really did it because I stopped trying to be everybody else. I stopped trying to do everybody else's practice. Now, can you learn from other people's methods? Yes. But truly and honestly, there was a reason why 10 years ago when the internet was there, I had a lot of people telling me, oh, you should sell your things on the internet. You should sell online. And I was like, guys, listen, maybe I'm stupid, but I can't figure out how to sell online. And I don't have the mind, I don't have the mental capacity, I don't have the emotional stamina, I don't have any of it. I can't do that. I can't do that, but I can do me. Okay? And so you know what I did? Instead of trying to sell like everyone else, I kind of just did what was within my reach. I went and I used to knock on 40 to 45 doors every single day in Miami, Florida, in Coral Gables, in South Beach, in Overtown, in Kendall. I mean, I used to literally knock on 45 doors a day, and people ask me, like, Tiffany, why do you do that? I'm like, you know why? Because a lot of my competitors were selling on product, like they were selling like the features and the benefits and stuff like that, and at that time I was still trying to learn features and benefits and how to sell value and all that, and I was like, well, damn it, I can't sell that way, but you know what I can do? I can deal with what is within my realm, and I can go and physically knock on doors. And I knew that if I knocked on enough doors that somebody would say yes. And let me tell you, that's how I got to my first $10,000 month. I didn't get to my first $10,000 month because I built an online product or I had a badass funnel, or I don't even think we had a website. I mean, I'm gonna be really honest with you guys. That is like so black and white. My business cards are printed at Office Depot. I mean, this is like super black and white 101. So here's my kind of moment in time. Here's my emotion for you. Here's my want. Here's my heartbeat. Here's my thought. I don't care what it is you're doing. You can look all you want to your left and your right. You can watch the people who are running ads and spending $85 on Facebook ads, and then now they're living in the penthouse and they're driving a Bentley, and they're jumping off the cliff and they're at the ocean, right? And they're taking trips around the world and just living a crazy life. But I'm gonna tell you, you will get further faster if you can literally just bring it back here. Look, you saw that? Just close that outside view up, close it up here, and focus on what you know how to do, and do that so flipping well. I built a multiple 6-figure business without even having a website. And I have to make that, because I've done it more than once. I have to make that so clear, because what I did know how to do really well is I could knock on doors, I could talk to people, and I could introduce myself. And I did that almost 150 to 200 people every single week. I did that until there was no tomorrow, and I made $10,000 like that every month. And not only did I make $10,000, but that's what took me to moving to a new state. That's what took me to building a brand new company. And the reality is that I probably got to $500,000, and I still did things like that. I did not invest in marketing because I just didn't know any better. I didn't. And could I have made more money? Sure, but it doesn't change the fact that I got to that level without having to need all of those things. It's like so many times I meet amazing people around the country, and I'm thinking about all the people I'm going to meet tomorrow and this upcoming week as I'm traveling. I'm headed east on Mother's Day, and I was thinking to myself, the reality is that if I had continued to try and do all of those things that everybody else was doing, do you know what would have happened? I would still be here. I would have never gone to 7 figures. I would have hovered at 6 figures. I probably would have given up. I probably would have been super frustrated. I would have felt even more inadequate, even more not enough, because I couldn't do the things. Let me tell you what happened as a result of it. You get more money, and then you can pay for the education of the things and the gaps that you have. That's where the game changes. It's like, don't worry about all the things you can't do, because I know there are so many things that you can do that you're really, 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 really good at. that you just killing it. And man, if you could just focus on that. I used to knock on two doors until, my husband talks about it now, but I used to wear out like a pair of shoes a month. Yeah, literally, like every month I was throwing shoes in the garbage because it was like I was knocking on so many doors and walking the streets, not at night in Miami, during the day, but I was walking the streets and I was knocking on doors and I was selling products. And the reality is that I got so good at that and I made so much money doing that I could start to hire and pay for the parts and the gaps of my business and my own knowledge that I didn't know. I didn't magically learn X or Y, and I didn't have the time to spend 6 months or a year or 2 years or 5 years figuring out. I had little kids to raise. No. So, it's like you work the hell out of what you know, like stupidly well, and then once you work the hell out of like what you know, and you just bang that thing out, like you just grind it out, you know what I mean? Like you just do it. And then once you do that, you'll make more money. You can get to $10,000. I know, because I've done it so many times. You get to that dollar amount, and then you can begin to invest in yourself. Forget about investing in business. You can just start to pay for things and pay for the gaps of things you don't know. So I hope that makes sense. Listen, I'm going to ask you to take a moment and share this. I would love for you to share it. I'd love to hear what you're thinking about it. But more importantly, here, for those of you who are joining me late, you're here in the airport with me. We're in Phoenix. And I'm getting ready to continue heading east. But I really and truly, I have to tell you, it is too easy to get caught up in what people are doing to your left and right. Baby, you don't need to worry about that. Not even in the least bit. Not all of that's irrelevant. That's all black and white. It doesn't matter, because I tell you what, you literally continue to bang out whatever it is. I don't care what it is. Whatever it is that you do really, really well, I'm telling you, focus on that. There is a reason why I knocked on doors 45 hours a day. And let me tell you, a lot of people don't know that. I probably did that for 3 years or 4 years. Like, that was not like a couple of months. I did this for years. I mean, I got to multiple 6 figures, then I got to multiple 6 figures again. And I was like, well, could we learn another way? Sure. But here's the reality. This works. And more importantly, all I need to do is get to the next level. So here's what you need. All you need to do is get to the next level. So listen, get to the next level. And if you're having a tough time figuring it out, come hang out with me in the Onwards to Freedom group. I know there's something somewhere inside of there to help you. I can't wait to hear what, how, and when you get started. Keep moving. We got a march to do. Remember, we're marching onwards to freedom. See ya.